Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Tech Chit Chat Show. If you are new here, my name is Ken. You can find me on Northern Viking every day and Northern Viking Explorer on YouTube. I'm here with my co-host Stephen Loney on YouTube and 8-Bit Warrior on Twitter. Hello, Mr. Stephen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Mr. Ken. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing excellent. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah, I love your shirt. I like it when you wear that shirt.
I know. It gets a lot of attention, and I think for good reasons.
Yeah,
the cornucopia is
cornucopia. I wanted to say Capricorn or unicorn.
Yeah, we've gone over this. I've learned.
I'm old school Bass Pro Shops today. Kind of haven't been fishing in a while, but I'd like to go. So
not sponsored, but
not sponsored, but yeah. But we could be sponsored if you want your name on our coffee mug. Cheers. On a sticky note, you can sponsor us. Oh, whoa.
I have a moose.
Cheers.
Cheers, you guys.
I don't know what I have. I have a Whistler mug.
Anyone else out there drinking a cup of something here this morning? Let us know.
Yeah, say hello to us in the comments there, and where you're from. We appreciate you joining us today. If you're new here, this is what we do. We drink coffee, talk about tech, and yeah, Stephen and I have done this for years where we'd go to coffee shops and then we decided to share it with you, talk about tech, talk about coffee, joke around, and just have some fun with what's going on in the tech world and maybe some other stuff as well. So that's what we are doing today. We've got some topics we're going to be discussing: the new Windows 11 update 22H2. We're going to talk about Super Mario Brothers 5. We're just going to leave it at that. You'll learn more in a little bit. Slime Rancher 2, some Linux stuff, Pizza Hut, and Pepsi. So we've got a bunch of topics we're going to talk about. And you might be saying, hey, half of those aren't tech related. Well,
too bad.
This is what we do. So something new happening. I don't know if it's working. If you're wondering, if you're on Facebook, well, you probably won't see this. You might be wondering where our stream went. So right now we can do 3 streams, and apparently we're streaming on Twitter for the first time. So if you're on Twitter, say hello on there. Leave us a comment. And if you're not on Twitter, leave us a comment anyhow. But maybe check if that's working if you're out there, and let us know in the comments as well. But what happens when we hit 100 subscribers, Stephen? Something new might happen actually as well now. But I'll let you say what happens, and then I'll add to it.
Yeah, so at 100 subscribers, we are looking to upgrade our lowly 720p feed to a full 1080p HD feed, so you can see our beautiful faces and high definition. So that's our plan for 100 subscribers. So if you'd like to see us get to that, feel free to help us out in that way by subscribing.
Yes, and what you might not know about is that when we hit 100 subscribers and upgrade, I believe we can stream to more than 3 platforms. So that's why we switched from Facebook to Twitter. But Facebook will probably come back when we hit 100 subscribers. So
if you're on Facebook,
add some more platforms as well.
If you're on Facebook, come over to YouTube just to subscribe to get us back on Facebook, right?
Yes. Oh, I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
But for today, for those who are watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter, welcome.
Yes, that's for sure. A couple of things before we get rolling. I kind of wanted to bring up the GoPro 11. I know I showed you it unboxed, or before I unboxed it last week. So I have unboxed it. If you want to see those videos, but I've been playing around with this camera. It is pretty cool. And one of my favorite new features, can I show you this, Stephen? Let's show you guys this. Sorry if you're listening on the podcast, but it's something called Star Trails. And I basically point the camera at the sky and I hit record, and it does this automatically for me, records the stars. So this one here took about 2.5 hours to record. So it's 11 seconds long. But it's a pretty cool feature included right in the GoPro 11, as well as you can do night shots of cars where the lights are streaming, and as well you can do writing with fire or different things like that, and it'll record it. So there's some really cool new features in the GoPro. It looks exactly the same as the 10, but the 11 has a bunch of new stuff on the inside. Plus, 10-bit color.
Oh,
Do you know what 10-bit color is?
Is that for like HDR and stuff like that?
Well, so the old one had 8-bit color,
Mm.
which was just over 16 million colors, and now 10-bit is about 1 billion colors.
Right. So that's probably going to give
So-
you a richer depth for like, especially when you're transitioning and like there's certain times that might just get better.
I think you'll see less of jumping. Like, for example, if you're filming the sky
Yeah.
and there's different shades, like you'll
Yeah.
see less maybe jumping from shade to shade.
The color
it should be
banding,
smoother.
it's called.
Yeah, color banding, exactly.
Yeah.
You should see less of that on the new GoPro, as long as you have the 10-bit turned on, because you don't have to have it turned on as well. So
there's kind of a famous line back in the day. Apparently, there used to be a video card, like the Voodoo FX GPUs back in the day. They're now gone. I think one of the guys who was heading that company back in the day said, like, who needs 32-bit color, because their GPUs were only supporting 16-bit.
Okay.
And so there's like this infamous line of who needs 32-bit color? 16 bits enough, which was like 32,000 colors, right?
Well, 8-bit color is 16 million, so it must have been.
Yeah, I can't.
It must have been. Was it like? Maybe it was like byte. I don't
well, no, the 8-bit. So it's 8-bit per color. So
I see.
you put together, that's 24-bit when you stack together. So he was talking about like 16-bit for like all the color range. So that wasn't the same.
Yeah, different
way of thinking about it. So, but there was a time when someone thought, why do we need all these colors? But now we see where you can remove color banding. It actually just creates these better transitions, and that's probably the biggest argument, I would say, maybe for it.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. You've been working on something pretty cool with Cody and Yoshi. Anybody else involved in that, or?
Another friend of ours down currently in Florida, Melkaya. Group of us working on a project about a corgi solving puzzles. So this was usually you ask me on the like, so how was your weekend? What did you do? And I can't remember. So I thought I'd like, okay, I'm just going to share something I worked on, and it was a trailer for a corgi and a. Is it working? Is it not working?
No, it's buffering.
Wow. Our internet's amazing.
They're probably cutting out our stream. Well, it was blasting in my ears, so I turned down the volume, and then it froze.
That's all right. Anyway, so I worked on a gameplay trailer for a game called Corgi Cove I was working on this weekend. So I'm like, I actually have something to. What was I doing this weekend? What was I doing recently? So, anyways, doesn't matter. If you want,
I'm gonna close that tab so it doesn't wreck my stream for the internet.
Don't worry about it.
We're good.
If anyone's interested, look up Corgi Cove trailer and you can see for yourself. So
yeah. So you gotta love technology. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Close it before it crashes everything else.
Before. Well, we already had our stuff crash this morning when we were planning this out over on
Discord.
Discord, yeah. So, well, shall we dive right into it? Somehow we yapped for almost 9 minutes here, and didn't even talk about too much.
Nope. But let's go.
All right, let's go. So Windows 11 22H2 was released, which is their major update. So it was pretty close to a year ago that Windows 11 came out, and this is their first jumbo update. So let's jump over. Here's a little article by Bleeping Computer that outlines some of the highlights of that update, and there's actually some pretty decent ones. I know you were excited about. Well, let me go through these. So first of all, let me say that my son, he was able to auto update to it, where you go to your Windows updates and hit update, and it found it and installed it right away. For some reason, mine was not doing that. And reading this article, I realized that it probably had to do with application incompatibility. So there was probably an app I had on my computer that was not going to work with it, so it didn't update it. I went ahead and went over to the Windows 11 kind of media creation tool area, and I was able to update it in there. So I do have this version, although I didn't get it till I think it was yesterday, so I haven't really played with it yet. I can see that it's there, but haven't really dug too deep into it. But you were excited about this one right here,
Yes.
the tabs, and I don't think I have it yet. I think you'd mentioned that it's coming in October.
Yeah, it may have been mentioned in that article or somewhere else saying that
Oh,
it
it
will be.
didn't make it to the build, but it will be released in
Yeah,
October.
yeah. So it looks like next month it'll make it in. So it's probably really close, but they decided let's just wait on it.
Mhm.
So that's something that I am excited about, which I've been working with Linux lately, and it's already built into like Ubuntu. So it's kind of like it's so nice to have. Like I'm already using it on a different operating system, and it's not gimmicky. It's actually because I get so tired of having Windows open everywhere when I'm trying to like multitask. There's certain
Yeah,
times you just it's a good option. So I this
it
is probably
makes so much sense, and
it
just for
does.
keeping organized. Yeah.
We already tab within the web browsers all the time, so we already know how functional it is.
Well, I the same thing with video editing. I have files all over the place, and just to have them in different tabs in one window just makes so much sense.
And a thing, I mean, maybe it's already possible, but a thing that I would like to see is, especially with Windows Edge, is to be able to just drag a File Explorer tab right into the browser and vice versa. Being able to like
Okay.
have it all like on the same thing and be able to switch between the File Explorer
Ooh.
tab and
So
right.
it's just all at the top in one spot rather
It's,
than.
yeah,
Ooh.
give the option. I mean,
Sounds like you need a second monitor.
I have three going on. But there's times when it just makes more sense to use tabs, and if especially if
Yeah.
Microsoft could market that, where Microsoft Edge and File Explorer could talk and do that, it'd give a selling point to use Edge. Even
Yeah,
more.
that's true. I know I usually use Chrome just because I use both, but mostly Chrome. Um, just because I do.
Yeah,
Habit maybe.
yeah.
But yeah, that might be a reason to look at that as a different option for sure. There's some other stuff in here. There's some updates to the control bar for the Xbox control bar. If you're using the Xbox controller, a little bit more user friendly. Some smart app controls, so um, blocking untrusted applications. And I believe it said you needed to do a clean Windows update to get that, or a clean Windows install. I could be wrong.
Well,
Um,
that part confused me because isn't that already in there? And is it just they just changed the way that it looks? I guess
yeah, I'm not sure.
because
Um,
I'm used to this because I create applications I send to people that are like not certified, and so they have to click like learn more and go no I trust this. Um,
oh, yeah, that's a
I
good question.
so I actually am not a big fan of this system in general. I don't know what's different. I mean, because I don't like. At first, I was kind of like, have they changed anything? Have they locked it down even more? Because if they have locked it down even more, that's gonna bug me
Hmm.
because I like to be able to send executables that are not malicious to people. You know,
You only send the malicious ones to me.
yeah, yeah. Just before we start streaming, so it wrecks everything.
Yeah.
But no, because that's the reason why I don't like Apple products, and in order to put stuff on Apple onto Steam and things, I have to be registered. I have to pay Apple money just to put an app somewhere else, and I don't want Windows to become locked down like Apple's devices. I
Yeah.
don't think that's changed. I think it's just the layout. Um, but I'd like to get more clarity on this later.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
just for the record, I don't have
interesting.
Windows 11. I'm still on Windows 10, so um, I don't have a computer to test these things out right now.
Yeah. Clipchamp. This is actually pretty big that they added this. The video editor in Windows 10 and 11 was part of the Photos app,
Okay.
and it was very limited. So they are now giving you a new video editor called Clipchamp. This is, um, and I did load this up and play with it. It is significantly better than the old video editor or Windows Photos video editor.
Right.
They brought transitions back, which was a big thing that people didn't like about the old one. Um,
Wow.
and just with people being so involved in social media now, whether they're uploading to TikTok or Instagram, their reels or whatever,
Right.
just to have something a little bit better. I mean, it's not Adobe Premiere or anything like that, but
No.
it's just a little bit better for that person who's just creating content. This might be like basic content for your friends or whatever, this might be a good option for you.
Yeah.
Is
it still just single timeline? Like,
I didn't play with it that closely. I just kind of dropped a couple clips and looked at the transitions and things. I'll have to play with it more. I kind of plan on, I'll probably be making a tutorial on the software eventually. So
right.
I'll have more on it then, but it definitely, I could see there's waveforms for your audio where you didn't even, I don't think, have that in the previous one.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely an upgrade to what they had.
Yeah, nice.
So there's apparently an improved snapping experience as well. And this one I thought was cool is if you highlight a phone number, you can click on call number, or highlight a date, you can create an event. So
now I know that sounds, I heard you mention that earlier to me. We were talking about this briefly before. And I actually don't like that stuff. Like for me, because I don't use it, it just is like, get out of my way. Like stop popping stuff up. So for me, I would actually disable that stuff.
For sure. And see, when I see this, I see it wants to load it into Outlook and Teams and stuff.
Yeah.
And I typically have more of a Google experience that I use. So
yeah,
that's probably why I use Chrome more than Edge, because I use their services. Yeah. Like their calendar and stuff. So if that could be used with a like Google Calendar, that would entice me. I don't know if it does or not.
Right.
Windows 11 taskbar. There's some drag and drop capabilities, and then the task manager has an update as well. So looks a little bit sleeker and modern, but that's basically what came with the 22H2 release.
And if I'm correct, the task manager, I think they've also added in a way to give less priority. Like this was already kind of in task manager, but a way to, not the priority, but to kind of have certain applications not use as much resources, to like kind of like don't give as much attention to these, which could be nice, especially if you're doing certain tasks and you want to make sure certain things aren't spooling up and using resources. So I'd like to look into more of that later when I have a Windows 11 operating system.
So hey, I just noticed, this is totally off topic, squirrel. I forgot we updated our little logo in the top corner.
We did.
Yes.
Yeah, we did. We definitely did.
We did that. So
yeah. We were too long with like basic clip art. We literally put the first one was made, like how quickly did we do that?
I don't know, 5 minutes. It was just like, oh,
like we need a channel logo, let's go. Like this was like a year plus ago. And and it just we're like, we'll change it later, and we didn't change it until
we never changed it. So. So we have an updated logo. We might change it again down the road, but that's what it is for now.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into this. This is really cool. Metroid Mike 64 has created Super Mario Brothers 5.
Yeah.
On the Mario Maker, which is really cool. Let's jump over to here. So this is his Twitter account. And so what he's done, he's created, I believe it was 40 full course levels across 8 worlds. And they look legit Mario. Like this is pretty amazing, Metroid Mike. 24 of them are Super Mario World type levels, 14 Super Mario 3 worlds, and 2 of them are Super Mario Brothers worlds. And the footage looks amazing for these.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like so it seems to be that his intent was, as he mentioned in one of his tweets, like, I'm not here to troll you and to try to kill you. I think there's a very high number of levels from the Mario Maker games that are just trying to do that, troll you and I killed you, and just extreme hard. His goal was to make a legitimate experience of like as if Nintendo made it, like a whole series of levels. And especially with Mario Maker 2 seems to have really allowed this, with how they allow you to create these like the world map and transition between places and create more of like a full experience. Which was not possible in Mario Maker 1. And this is something that like I'm really excited to see that somebody took the time to do this, because I think this is where this should be more encouraged rather than trolling levels and just kind of like ha 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 and dumb levels. Actually encouraging people to spend time to create rich experiences. So I'm hoping
this is to me like actual Mario looking game within Mario Maker. And he started, was it 2015? So it must have been the original Mario Maker he started planning at least. Right. And then this is out. So 7 years to develop. And now it's on Mario Maker 2. So you can play it on your Switch, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. He's calling it Super Mario Brothers 5. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, me too. I like the intent behind it. I like the goal that he had for it. And you were mentioning, again, we were talking about this before, and you were saying how this could actually be something that has people buy Mario Maker 2 just to get this.
Well, I mean, if you're thinking of buying it and maybe it goes on sale at Christmas time, if you get a really decent game out of it, like a Mario game, like that's pretty cool.
And I think that you had me thinking, be like, I think that would sell me on it too, because I actually want to play these levels. And I wasn't considering Mario Maker 2, but now it is on my radar.
Yeah. If you're not having like I'm sure there's other great levels out there, but this just seems super legit. And 4D levels, like that's awesome. Yeah. So good on you, Metroid Mike 64. I'm excited to eventually try this out.
And if anybody out there is watching this, and if you've tried it yourself, leave a comment. Let us know actually your thoughts on it. I want to hear that.
Yeah, I agree. It looks phenomenal. Any other thoughts on that, or?
I hope this starts kind of to encourage people to go that way with development. I hope it gets good feedback, and that the community kind of grows again and doesn't die out, and people just encouraging healthy content creation and not one-off knee-jerk reaction kinds of levels and creation. I noticed the same thing with Little Big Planet as well. There were some really good levels, and then there was just awful levels that were a waste of time. So when people can create amazing levels like this, it's sure welcome. So more depth and less TikTok. That's my hope. So
that's awesome. Moving on from there, Slime Ranger 2 managed to sell 100,000 copies in 6 hours.
Did you say Slime Ranger?
I did, but I should have said Slime Rancher. I mean, Slime Rancher. I haven't actually played the original Slime Rancher, but I don't know. I knew it was Slime Rancher. Just Ranger came out. That'd be another good name.
I'm gonna make the bootleg. I'm gonna rip it off and call it that.
The bootleg.
Slime Ranger 2.
Yes, Slime Rancher 2.
Yeah.
So 100,000 copies in 6 hours, which is crazy. And then they've sold over 300,000 copies to date, or probably more than that now. I don't know how old this article is. But that's really good.
Yeah.
Thoughts on? Have you played Slime Rancher, not Ranger?
I have. I've played the first one. I haven't played through tons of it, but I've played enough of it to be like, it's good. It's really good. And I've seen family members play it, and it's a really cozy, enjoyable experience.
My son's laughing at me for saying that wrong, and then you're calling it the Slime Wrangler. So
because that's what you do. You wrangle slime. That's basically. So the first, so I did play the first one, and it starts you off in a very cozy place that you have your own ranch, and you are basically instead of cattle, it's slimes, and you have to go find them and collect them, and it's just a wonderful experience for anyone from 7 years old to 70. I think would enjoy this game. So I'm excited to see that number 2 is doing quite well. The first one apparently has sold over 5 million copies on its own already. So
that's awesome. I like to see games like this do well. So I actually haven't tried it out. Like I said, I definitely want to give it a go. Do you know if there's a demo of it, if people haven't played it already, or
I don't. I
no?
don't know
I'll
if
have
there's
to
a demo.
check out some videos on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty cool. Like, so you haven't, did you buy slime? Now you got me mixed up that you said Wrangler. That's on you.
Yeah.
Slime Rancher too. You didn't buy it, no.
No, I haven't bought it. I have the first
Okay.
one. I got the first one through like Epic. It had it free
Okay.
for a time or something.
Okay.
But I might. Yeah, I'd like to get this on Steam, the second one. I may skip finishing the first one and just jump into the second one and play through that.
Yeah. So the interesting thing, he said he'd hope to sell 100,000 copies in 24 hours. Popovic, I believe his name, Nick Popovic.
Yeah.
And they managed to sell it in 6 hours. So significantly higher than expectations.
That's really good.
Yeah. So
that's good.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I like stories like that for sure.
Especially when it's a product that is like not it's a positive. It seems to be like a positive kind of game. Like you play it and you feel better when you play it. Like you should leave it feeling better and not like angry and bitter. You shouldn't. I mean, there could be the exception maybe, but if you don't wrangle your slimes properly. But typically it should be a nice experience and just a good thing. So
yeah, no,
that mixed with Mario Maker, that Super Mario Brothers 5 thing, and this kind of content is really cool.
Awesome. So you sent me an article this morning, and the first thing I said to you was, "Hey, there's no pictures." So then you found another article that had a picture.
A picture.
A picture. And so 20-year-old Linux Workaround is still slowing down the AMD systems. And you said you would handle this one because I tried to read this article and there was smoke coming out of my ears, and this was just like,
well, this article is really boring. And so I had to sell you on it. And like this is like high level nerd territory here. So
especially without pictures, because the first one was just like 2 pages of text
and like actual code that might have been outlining how to fix the problem or something. It's like this is not for but this is interesting to me because it actually is very relevant to my day job. And I was like, oh, like this is like mine, because we are working with a Ryzen Threadripper at my job, a 32 core 64 thread Threadripper, and high crunching of data for processing data. And this was like right in my ballpark. And I sent this to my boss, which is my older brother. But like, I'm like, hey, we need to pay attention to this. So what was happening is there has been like a workaround that was applied for like older AMD Athlon processors from like 20 years ago for properly handling idle states. So when the CPU like tries to go to an idle state and come back out of it, and kind of that management.
Okay.
There was a workaround that the old might have been the Athlon or one of the older processors wasn't properly working as expected. So somebody for the Linux kernel submitted a fix to allow things to keep working and well enough. But this fix has actually been hampering modern architecture for the Zen processors from AMD. It's actually been making them improperly handle this idle state and actually slowing them down. And this was like just recently realized. And so one of the engineers, I think he's from AMD, has just submitted a patch to like fix this. And apparently the more cores you have, the worse it gets.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So the more pronounced the problem gets with the more cores. So when you're doing like high core workloads that are like up and down in processing, it's going to, it's like this dummy idle process that was just improper and causing things to sleep too much. So this excites me because there's a potential that I can go to work this week and apply a fix and see a huge improvement in our architecture at my job. Or nothing, but we'll find out. But it seems from the article that the one guy was mentioning how there was like up to like over 1,000% improvement in performance in certain scenarios.
Interesting. That's huge.
So it's huge. So it's just like this really old fix has gone on to hamper modern technology, and how like this is just the nature of things when something's so complex. You can't always keep track of all these. And with the way Linux works, people submit things and it gets accepted in. Anybody can, like, people can submit a fix or something to the Linux kernel and it gets accepted. So this was accepted like 20 years ago and it was fine, but now it was causing. So that's what excited me, because like this is like real world, just performance improvements for Linux uses with just an easy fix that was found. And like, so yeah. Anyways, have I sold you? Is that okay? Is this absolutely boring?
Well, you've sold me that it's a good thing. It's definitely interesting that it's taken this long for the fix to come.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me. But it's probably dull for those who it doesn't apply to. I'll put it that way.
Absolutely. But for the tech nerds out there, this was definitely, we've talked about how there's like A to D range of like techiness. A being like, how do I open my email? And D being like, here's how to create an email server, you know, like,
yeah.
And this is definitely like C.5 territory out here. It's like pretty close to the D level, like extreme nerd. Or maybe
it's kind of what, if you're sitting on the space station having ChitChat with your friends, this is what you might talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to patch the kernels.
Yeah. So. All right. We'll move on to there before our watchers
disappear.
They've actually gone up during this segment. So oh, we lost one. All right. We'll jump over. Pizza Hut delivery robots. Now this is near and dear to you. In Vancouver.
Yeah.
In Vancouver, so not too far from you.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut Canada and Serve Robotics launching robot delivery service. And I actually saw this on the news as well. So they're testing this out in Vancouver. You can get your pizza delivered in this robot cooler thing. And there's a one-time code that you punch in when it arrives at your door. You grab your pizza and yeah, off it goes. Now, the delivery distance isn't too far yet from the, like, it's just within a few blocks of the Pizza Hut, but they're testing it out. And maybe soon enough, your Pizza Hut will be delivering this to you.
So you're saying
I love his...
Huh?
Oh, I was going to say, I love the robot's eyes.
You do you?
Yes.
That's nice.
So what are your thoughts on this?
I was thinking, I guess I shouldn't order the robot then down from where I'm at. I'm down the road, but I don't think it would be coming too quickly.
No, I think it's like a few blocks. The funny thing, I saw this on the news, and the robot was kind of like going down the middle of the sidewalk, and people were having to walk around it. And I'm like, you know, it wasn't a polite robot in where it was walking. Like,
really, it wasn't very like, Canadian.
I just felt like, you know, kind of stick to the right so people can get past, not just walking down the middle of the sidewalk in the way.
They should just have a speaker blaring out of it. Sorry, sorry.
sorry. So then what happens? What happens if someone tips the robot and your pizza then?
I know.
Because the reason I say that, so do you have Lime scooters near your house?
Lime scooters?
Like those electric scooters that you rent?
No.
Okay, we have them all over here in our town. Like you rent the scooters, but there's the few people who do not like them and decide to tip them over. Or I saw one in the ditch the other day.
Yeah.
And I just hope that my pizza doesn't end up in the ditch somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool and idealist. This is where like drones would be a better idea because you can keep them away from people better, but they're also a bad idea because other reasons. I'm waiting for the day that like drones crash into each other with your pizza.
It's like when you see on the news that like a banana truck crashes and there's bananas all over the road, or it's just
Now, you at the start of this, you called it a robot cooler. Now, just correction. I don't think it's a cooler unless you like your pizza cold.
Well, okay. Let's not call it a cooler. I think it's insulated to help keep your...
Yeah, I know what you meant. I'm just gonna poke you and be like...
That's fine. That's fine.
No, this is interesting. I mean, how successful Should I go to Vancouver and like sit on a park bench and order some Pizza Hut robot?
I think we should. So my son says have a sip of my coffee before I read. So yeah, probably, because otherwise nobody's gonna know what Jolly Roger sells 100 million copies of a video game is. Slime Rancher, come on.
I think he was talking about the Linux article. I think that's what it was about.
What did I do wrong there? I have a lot of errors.
I think it was in reference to like take your time with it because it's quite a bit to take in.
Yeah. I guess it was a long 20-year-old Linux workaround is still slowing down AMD systems. I guess so.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Slime Rancher. And I'm trying to get this show in and out in 45 minutes. So
have fun with that. Yeah, no, this would be interesting. This is interesting. But okay. But what goes great with pizza?
Well, especially Pizza Hut. I believe they are a Pepsi.
Yeah.
You always need a soda with pizza. Like it just cuts the grease, especially Pizza Hut pizza.
They pair well together. So with your Pizza Hut robot, you can get what?
Well, Pizza Hut, I don't know if Pizza Hut has this, but there's Smore Pepsi.
There's s'more?
There's some more. S'more Pepsi.
S'more.
Yeah. So there is Pepsi welcomes fall with 3 new flavors.
Go on, please.
So Pepsi has come out with the s'more collection, which is toasty marshmallow, chocolate, and graham cracker. So there's 3 different flavors. And then if you'd like to have a s'more, you mix them in a special certain proportions and come up with the s'more flavored Pepsi. And they've even got a little bit of a contest here that you can mix your creation, and they are giving some winners. I'm not sure what they're giving them, but a little contest there. Okay, if you had to pick one of these Pepsis, toasty marshmallow, chocolate, or graham cracker, which one would you pick? Chocolate. I know you're a graham cracker fan.
I am, but in this case, I'm going to go with chocolate.
Chocolate? Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. That's chocolate Pepsi. I think I'd go with toasty marshmallow, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We should... do you know if they're going to sell these in Canada? I kind of want to do like a taste test with these.
Well, is this a Canada or is this an American?
Is this a Canada?
Is this a Canada thing? I'm not sure. That's a good question.
We might have to.
What this article was.
Are we going to need to do a bootleg run across the border?
Okay, so this kind of brings up like fall beverages to me. So I know recently the pumpkin spice latte is back at Starbucks.
Right.
Does everything get like, is s'more like a fall thing?
Well, it's going to get associated with fire, but I usually have a campfire in the summer, so I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like for me, I don't associate it with the fall.
Well, so yesterday for the first time in probably 3 years, I had a pumpkin spice latte.
And it was good, right?
Don't tell anybody. Yeah, it was actually really good. But I don't know if I'd want one every day. Like once a year, well, once every 3 years is probably good.
You know what's good? You have it like once a month for the whole fall. You're good. Or like every 2 weeks or something is fine having one.
Yeah.
They're actually
it is actually pretty good. So I don't know. Like I kind of want to try this. And we can put it together with the KFC chips that we talked about last week. This is a very healthy diet we've got here.
So we have a Pizza Hut robot with KFC chips and some marshmallow Pepsi.
Yes.
That sounds like a great time. When you're coming to Vancouver, let's pull this one off.
Pull this one off? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So,
maybe we'll
so our question of the day, which Pepsi flavor would you choose?
Yeah. Well, we already chose, so I chose the chocolate.
I chose the marshmallow. Toasty marshmallow.
And then
can I tell you why I picked the toasty marshmallow? Wow. It's because graham cracker, I would just assume that there's chunks of like bread in my.
Okay, they're not like literally like putting chunks of graham cracker in a Pepsi
No,
drink.
I get it. But marshmallow is something you'd already put in a beverage, like in a hot chocolate. Like it's actually a accessory to a beverage already.
Did you hear yourself? You criticized my chocolate choice, and you just said hot chocolate, and you're like hypocrite. Like there's a double standard. Do you not see?
I see it now. But you don't put Pepsi in your hot chocolate.
And you don't put marshmallows in your Pepsi.
Maybe we do.
Yeah. You were the guy who introduced me to Fruit Loops and root beer.
That's true. But that wasn't really a thing. You're the one that believed me.
Yeah, you just told me like, yeah, you can do this thing. And I totally trusted you.
Yes.
It was fine.
It was good. We were camping.
Yeah.
Root beer in your Fruit Loops.
That's
probably the last time I had Fruit Loops.
Watch it come out now. A drink that's like root beer Fruit Loop drink. we should talk to the A&W root beer company. Tell them to work with Fruit Loops.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah. So that's the tech talk for today.
All right. So for today, again, what happens at 100 subscribers, Ken?
At 100 subscribers, we are going to be upgrading our stream from 720p to 10, whatever. We're going to be upgrading up to 1080p.
Yeah.
I guess we're 720p right now. So 1080p, and you'll be able to see our faces in higher definition and listen to us in the same audio quality as right now. But we would appreciate it. If you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That's 100 subscribers on YouTube. We appreciate it. You can watch us on Twitch. You can watch us on Twitter, apparently. You can watch us on Spotify or listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform. I think that's it for today. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching and listening. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.